Do you agree with Vince Cable? Teachers know nothing about working for a living. This is a little clip of a speech that Dr. Cable gave.
The line problem is, of course, that most teachers, particularly in the secondary sector, are graduates. You know, they know how universities work, they know what you have to do to get an A-level, they know about UCAS forms, they know absolutely nothing about the world of work.
Applause there at a meeting with UK manufacturers. Nick Clegg.
Well, I don't think... I know for a fact that Vince is a huge admirer of the extraordinary work that our teachers do day in, day out. It was absolutely not his intention to cause offence. Teachers are the lifeblood of society. In fact, we just talked about the importance of adults, both in and outside the home, setting the right kind of example for our children. And
why did he say it then?
Well, I think he was having a wider discussion, which, by the way, in my experience, my friends and people I know who are in teaching actually agree with the wider point he was actually making, which was that we need to improve the careers advice and guidance that is given to kids in school, because frankly, in many schools, it's not yet good enough. And that's why I announced, for instance, last week that we're going to be issuing shortly guidance to schools about how to provide better careers advice and guidance, including, which is very relevant to the discussion Vince was having with that particular audience, including a new responsibility on schools to work with local employers and local businesses in order to give kids more of an opportunity to...
saying, though, is it? They know absolutely nothing about the world of work. It's hardly surprising the NUT, National Union of Teachers, describe his comments as, quotes, crass. They are crass, aren't they?
Well, if you take that sentence out of context and don't explain the context as I've done, of course I understand that teachers may be offended by that, but I also know that Vince did not intend to offend teachers. He was making a point about how we need to give youngsters and indeed teachers more support, as we will be doing shortly because of the announcement I made last week, support in making the decisions about what careers they might take up later.
Yeah, but anybody, if I was to say to you, and I wouldn't, you know absolutely nothing about the world of politics, or you would say to me, I would know absolutely nothing about the world...
You probably had said that about me on occasion. I might go over my records.
I write occasionally in the Sunday Express about the world of broadcasting. You know what the spirit is behind that. It's offensive, isn't it, Mr. Clegg?
As I say, I don't think... I know that Vince would not have wanted to cause offence. I'm a massive... self-evidently a massive admirer of what teachers do day in, day out for millions of...
Are you a massive admirer of Dr. Cable?
Well, I agree with the context in which that discussion was held, as I understand it, which is how do we make sure that children get better information, better support, better guidance, so they can decide for themselves what they want to do later in life. At the moment, frankly, the provision of careers advice and guidance across our schools, and teachers would agree with this, is too patchy. We're going to improve that in the way that I announced last week.
When things like this happen, as the leader, do you ring these blokes up and say, have you gone bloody bonkers?
Do you know, I treat adults as adults, and sometimes, and I've no doubt done it myself, sometimes you say something which you either wish you hadn't quite used those words, or they've been taken out of context, and you've just got to explain yourself, as I'm sure Vince will, and I know, when he does, that he will confirm that he didn't mean to cause any offence towards teachers whatsoever.